Grace and peace, lovely people. This is Straight Up with Nate, and I'm Nate. So, to get right into it, have you ever dealt with jealous people? I mean, those people who you're doing good for yourself, you're working hard, you're going to work, you're going to school, you're doing what you got to do, you're handling everything you got to go to, you're trying to love God and live your life at its best, and then you got that one person who, because you're trying to get to your best self, you're trying to live your life, they can't stand the fact that they see you doing well. I'm going there today. We're going to talk about jealous people. Some people may agree, some people may not, but I believe there are two types of jealousy, right? So there is jealousy that is protective, and then there's jealousy that is envious. When we talk about jealousy, people often think of, I guess, the Wicked Witch of the West. If you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Or, when we talk about green, people think automatically, if you're a comic book head, you're thinking of the Hulk. So, to get right into it, I'm going to read a couple of definitions for you pertaining to jealousy. You can agree, you cannot, it's up to you. But, I do believe, like I said, there are two types of jealousy, so I'm going to read a couple of definitions for you. So, the first one is feeling or showing envy of someone of their achievements and advantages. Feeling or showing suspicion, which is the second one. Feeling or showing suspicion of someone's unfaithfulness in a relationship, i.e. a jealous boyfriend or girlfriend. The third one, which is the protective one I'm talking about, fiercely protective or vigilant of some of one's rights or possessions. When we're talking about envy, people tend to think that envy and jealousy are just all bad. Not necessarily. Let me be very clear. How I've come to understand jealousy of being two different types is because in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, it talks about God being a jealous God and that we should not have no other God before him. Now, when we talk about it, I know people may not want me to go the Christian route, but I'm going to start there first. So in the Bible, it talks about how God has a protective love of us. God has this type of protective love in which he wants us to only be at our best. He wants us to live our best life. He wants us to meet new people. He wants us to have better experiences and things of that nature. However, when the Bible goes on to talk about jealousy in the context of how we understand jealousy nowadays, and it's not so much irrelevant, but when we talk about jealousy in our context as human beings, the jealousy we're talking about, or how we understand it, is envy. Now, to talk about it, envy is bad because this is where a person, you're jealous of them because of their achievements and accomplishments. Now, let me talk about this real quick. Nate has had experiences with jealous people. It is not fond, it is not comfortable, it is not the greatest thing in the world, because there's times where you'll deal with people who are jealous of you and you're not even all the way you yet. And here's the thing, I'm not even myself now. I'm only 26 years old. Yeah, I'm exposing my age. It is what it is. But beyond the point, there are people who will be jealous of you because of the fact that, you know what, you love your mom, you love your dad, you love your family, you love your children, you love your spouse, husband or wife. They see all these things and that you have such a, let me not say great life, but you're doing your best and you're striving for the best and you're doing what you're supposed to do. You even have people at your job jealous of you because you're so focused, because you're so disciplined, because you do what needs to be done and that you don't waste time goofing off. You even have people who are jealous of you in school because you got a degree and they still have yet to even get theirs. Now let me be clear. I am not the smartest student in the room, but I know my stuff, and I've even had people jealous of me of the fact that I know what I was talking about. I know how to handle certain situations. So when I do say this, I do want people to understand is that we all have had jealous experiences, but I will say is that you don't know everybody until you've seen them green. Now when I say you don't know everybody until you've seen them green, I'm not talking about Hulk or the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm talking about green in the context of they're jealous of the fact that you are working hard or you're just trying to do better for yourself. I've had people with experiences that just because I'm doing my best, it's reason for them to be angry at the fact that they're not doing it themselves. I've even encountered people where I have a mom and a dad and that they don't have what I have. And here's the thing, I don't put it off on people to say that just because I have a mom and a dad, I'm better than you. No. If anything, I'm grateful. because there are some people who they don't have that experience, and that when they have a certain particular parent, the parent either comparing them, or the parents comparing them to someone who may have hurt them in their lives, whether it be the father, if it's a mother, they compare you to the father. If you're born a male, or if you're a father, you may be compared to the mother if the mother was unfaithful or is just not there, things of that nature. You get the drift of what I'm talking about. When I say this, when we're talking about jealousy, jealousy is so bad because as much as people sit there and make it seem like, oh, that a boyfriend's jealous and this, that, and a third, that's not a good thing. That's actually a bad thing. And that's also a sign that there's something about you progressing and doing better, or you working hard or doing what's supposed to be done, that it causes your boyfriend or girlfriend to be uncomfortable. And that's a slight sign of intimidation. So me as a person, I always tell people, you don't need to be intimidated around me. And why I say that is because I don't have everything together, I don't know everything, and I definitely don't have everything understood. But when it comes down to it, I always try to tell people, like, hey, don't be jealous of me, because the truth of the matter is, I'm not the best. I don't know everything, I don't do everything right. It is what it is. I've had my mistakes, I've done wrong, take it from me. Now, when I do talk about jealousy, I do want people to understand definitely that jealousy is a type of emotion or experience, I could put in that way, that you have to deal with it. Whether it be with you personally, you have to face it. You have to face face yourself when you're talking about jealousy. And if you are jealous of somebody, if you are jealous, you have to ask yourself, why am I jealous? Why do I feel what I feel? What's going on? Stuff like that. And so when I do say that, I do want people to understand that when you are dealing with jealous people, one thing I can say about dealing with jealous people, they are entirely unpredictable. Jealous people will do things that's even outside of their character, or what you think is their character. And so in that type of instance, I think it's important to understand that we differentiate jealousy in the context of protective and envious. Because, like I said, when we're dealing with people who are jealous in a context of protective, they're only just trying to be cautious. And when I say cautious, I don't mean like overly cautious in the context that they don't want you to do anything. I mean, they just want you to be mindful and just to be careful. That's someone who is protective of you, somebody who understands that you want to grow, but they are mindful of your expansion. They're mindful of your territory. They're mindful of what is it that you want to do. And so, with that being said, I will say that jealousy is something that I've definitely had my experiences with. I've even been jealous. And I had to take my moment to say, okay, what can I do to deal with whatever jealousy that is within me, and put it to a place where I can put it to rest. And that came from a place of seeing people graduate from school, people getting married, people doing this, people doing that. And then I had to readjust and reset my mindset in the context that, you know, they're where they're at, people are at, where they're getting their accomplishments because they've gone through things. They have their own testimonies, they have their own trials, they have their own experiences. So they're where they're at because of a reason. I'm not there because maybe what they went through, I'm not ready for. And maybe what I'm doing, they're not ready for. So at that same time, when we're talking about jealousy, don't get jealous of certain people because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. Please, don't get jealous. Jealousy is not something to be proud of. So at this point, when I talk about jealousy, and like I said, we're protective, you want to be cautious. When we're talking about envious, they are unpredictable. And so looking at people and even looking at myself, I will say this, is that I can't get jealous of other people because I don't know how hard people work to get to where they are, and people don't know how hard I've worked to get to where I am. So there's no need for me to be jealous of other people because you got yours, I'm gonna get mine. You doing what you're supposed to do, I'm doing what I need to do for me. And that's the thing. You won't have to worry about being jealous of other people if you're doing what you're supposed to do for you. I'm going to say it again. You won't be worried about who to be jealous with if you have your own things to be focused on. If you realize, hey, I can't be jealous of so-and-so because I have things to do. I have my own focus. I have my own goals. I have my own job. So I wouldn't have no need to be jealous of other people if I have my own business to run myself. So at this point, definitely, if this video was an encouragement, this video was something you look up to, by all means, like, share, spread the message, pass it on to someone else, and by all means, I will see you guys next time.